You're listening to The Residential Movement, where the focus is on making in-home dental care normal instead of novel or niche. I'm your host, Dr. Ashley Robinson, a house call dentist with a lot of passion for reaching patients who are best served in their home or residence. I'm here to encourage, equip, and empower dentists like you to begin offering in-home dental services for patients who cannot get to the office, while also enjoying a more balanced work life. We discuss everything from dentistry, business, ethics, mindset, and more. Listen in to learn how you can become a part of the residential movement. It's a new year, but I'm still hearing from listeners in my email and docs on social media about a phenomenon that was plaguing dentists last year and the year before that and the year before that. I'm talking about burnout. So I want to discuss it with you here today. Burnout is a state of mental, physical, and emotional exhaustion that results from chronic workplace stress. According to a 2023 ADA survey, 40% of dentists are feeling defeated, did not want to go to work, or wanted to leave dentistry altogether. 40%, it's heartbreaking. There are a lot of problems in our industry that contribute to chronic workplace stress. These 5 biggest problems include dentists being financially insecure, having conflicts with team members or demanding patients, struggling with time management, doing high-stress procedures, and not spending enough quality time with friends and family. If you are one of the dentists experiencing burnout, I'm very sorry. That is no way to live. I've been there too. I remember working at an overbooked FQHC knowing that I just couldn't do it forever. I had to make a change. Dental house call practice ownership can address the 5 chronic pain points listed earlier and make your career much more enjoyable. Hear me out. Number 1, finances. Finances can be stressful for anyone, but especially dentists. Dentists and doctors are notoriously bad with money, and it doesn't help that banks love lending to dentists. Most dentists borrow too much for school, borrow too much for practice startup, have to work too much to keep it all going, and never actually earn enough to have the lifestyle or retirement they desire. It's important to make decisions that leave you with options in the future. One decision could be to save $30,000 to $50,000 to start up a house call practice rather than borrowing hundreds of thousands to start or buy a brick and mortar practice. The spend is relatively minuscule, and the lack of debt gives you a lot of freedom. Even if you're an associate, you might be financially frustrated and stunted by the low insurance reimbursements. I don't participate with insurance companies because insurance companies don't cover house calls. In order to be sustainable, I'm fee for service. So if you're looking for permission to ditch the insurance companies that reimburse you less and less, here it is. Okay, moving on. Number 2, conflicts. In a house call practice, there are few conflicts because there isn't necessarily a team to feud with at all. A house call practice can be owned and operated by a single owner doc. So that's it. You're just working with you. No arguments with the front desk or hygienist or a sassy assistant. You can be self-sufficient and control your work environment. Even conflicts with patients are super rare because they're grateful to have their care in their home. They don't have finicky cosmetic demands and they'll appreciate your care and company. Number 3, time management. In a high-volume practice, you have to keep your head on a swivel to check your clock as you're operating. Plus, you have patients and hygienists tapping their toes and waiting on you all the time. It's stressful. When you're doing a house call, you get to be one-on-one with the patient and just take your time. No rushing, no stress. Number 4, procedures. We're all perfectionists to some degree, so doing very difficult, intricate cosmetic procedures is super stressful. In a house call practice, you're limited, so you usually only offer simple procedures. These simple procedures are things like prophies or denture adjustments, simple extractions, temporary restorations, SDF application, none of which are super technically difficult, but they're very valuable to patients. Number 5, time management. When you own a house call practice, you schedule your appointments and the length of these appointments. Not only can you set them whenever you'd like, but you can work as much or as little as you'd like without any notice to anyone ever. You own your time, period. This is the most flexible way to practice dentistry. This means that you see your friends and family as often as you'd like, and you never need to miss events. You can shop during the day, make doctor appointments, run to the post office, chat on the phone during your drive, all still while practicing dentistry. For more insight into what this could look like for you, check out my free ebook called A Day in the Life of a House Call Dentist at residentialmovement.com/a-day-in-the-life. I'll link it in the show notes. Burnout is real, and I'm very sorry if you're feeling it. If you've been feeling it for a while, it's time to make a change. But before you make a drastic change like leaving dentistry altogether, think seriously about owning a dental house call practice. It's an entirely different practice model and entirely different lifestyle. It's also a huge service to patients. The world needs more house call dentists, and your patients need you. If this is your year to make a change and start a house call practice, consider enrolling in Dental House Call Practice Academy. Dental House Call Practice Academy, or DHCPA, is a self-guided online course that I created to take you step by step through building your very own dental house call practice. It takes you through everything from laying the legal groundwork to shopping to finding your first patient. It's the course I wish I had when I was getting started. Visit residentialmovement.com/DHCPA for more information. Whether you decide to pursue house call dentistry or not, if you're feeling burnt out, you need to make a change. Life's too short. If you know another doc experiencing burnout, send them this episode for a fresh perspective. Thanks for tuning in to the Residential Movement podcast today. I really appreciate you. That's a wrap on this episode of the Residential Movement. If you like what you heard today, please leave a 5-star review and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. If you know someone who could benefit from this information, please share this with them. All of these actions help fuel the Residential Movement. Visit residentialmovement.com for show notes and for access to any links referenced in this episode. Thanks again for listening, Doc. Keep up the good work.